Ladies and gentlemen, please throw your hands in the air for the greatest podcast on earth when it comes to music, sports, and culture. Disabled is Abled with your host, Eli and Fredy. So put your hands together if you are ready to get the show started. Let's go. Peace. Welcome to another episode of Disabled is Able, where we the disabled show our superpower, super strength, super intelligence, super wittiness. Fredy and Eli in the building. I'm Dad. I am your moderator for this evening's show. What's up, fellas?
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys?
What up?
What's happening?
What's going on, people out there?
Pretty stressful, you know.
Is it test time?
Yes. I feel like every day is a test.
Okay, well, first, going to the test that you took on Wednesday.
I scored an AB. So
Okay, all right. Let's clap that up, man.
Antonio Brown scored 84.
All right.
Calm, first test. It is what it is.
All right.
I had one today. I don't know how that's a question mark.
But how did you feel after taking the test?
Honestly, I didn't feel so good. The weekend wasn't really going my way. It was Valentine's, even though I didn't do nothing.
Oh, okay. Got you.
I went home, and then it's never a good recipe because you never really get your stuff done.
Oh, no, not when you go home.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
and I got one on Thursday. It's just never ending,
Right.
I got one on Thursday. I feel a little confident about that one. So
That's what's up.
Yep.
And Eli, how about you?
We've been good. I've been good. Watched a great movie. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you watched WandaVision?
I did. I have been watching WandaVision. Really great show, guys. Just to tune, check that out.
Yeah,
if you have
everybody in my school's been talking about that show.
The Disney Plus membership, it's a great show, and you technically have no choice but to watch these shows because they're intertwined with the MCU movie line. It's not like a separate where they have TV shows now and movies that don't link. No, these
connect.
These all connect.
So when the next big movie come out, if you watch the show, it's gonna help you
understand
the movie.
And the next movie,
That's dope.
The next movie is Doctor Strange.
Oh,
I know you're a big fan of Doctor Strange.
I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange.
So if you want to understand Doctor Strange too, you gotta watch WandaVision.
That's tough, especially now that they're just coming out on the platform. You don't even gotta go to the movie theaters no more.
Right, exactly.
Which I miss the movie theaters.
And you know something? I think I am too. I'm starting to, even though it felt good to watch a movie recently that was a first run.
Right.
But there's a nostalgia.
Yeah.
About going to the theater. And I thought I wouldn't miss it, but I must admit,
I do not. I like this new system
Okay.
because I can honestly order all the food I want.
Kick your feet up.
I can kick my feet up.
Start
rent
the
it for
movie when you want to
I can rent it for $3 or buy it for $5 if I want to, and watch it. And then I can just invite all my friends over. I don't have to buy no tickets but there was something wrong with the movie, strategy of it that we didn't like, which was
it's getting a lot of strange people around you during the COVID time is in particular, and you get there, you gotta wait online, and
I also didn't like the fact that I had to sit next to people that I'm not I don't know you. That was just weird, and that was before the COVID, so but I don't miss it.
It's just the speakers hit different, the screen, chair that you leave all the way back.
The surround sound.
I do miss the movie theater dinings though. The dinner.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. I feel like that's gonna be the next wave of movie theaters. Yeah. It's like a movie theater. You watch a movie, but then you go upstairs. You have a little dinner with your significant other.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, fellas. Well, let's get down to it. Let's get down to this NBA action to get this thing started. Hold on. Let me make sure I bring my volume down a little bit. Utah Jazz are on fire, guys.
Yeah.
18 out of 19 games.
They're the only team to win 12 straight home games by 10 or more points since the 95-96 Chicago Bulls team.
Got that up? I'm starting to think they're for real.
I believe they will make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Wow, so that means the Clippers ain't making it or the Lakers ain't making it.
No. They'll play the Lakers. I never said the Lakers. I just said they'll have to go through,
Well, then the Clippers are not going to make it.
Yeah, Clippers not.
Dude, the Clippers are playing well too. Let's stay focused on on Utah. They got a big man in the middle.
They do. Rudy Gobert.
They got a guy on the bench now who can give you
Rudy,
40.
not Rudy. I'm sorry. Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clark went for 40 the other night off the bench. That's huge.
You got Mitchell.
You got Mitchell as a dynamic guy who can give you 50.
He's the D-Wade. He's a new D-Wade.
Of course, you have Conley, who's a steady point guard.
Right.
You got shooters.
You got the shooters and
Joe
Joe Ingles.
Ingles.
And
the fast release.
And Ingles.
And, no, Joe Ingles and
Bogdanovic. So they have some pieces in place here, guys, and a formula, and they've been playing together for a while. I'm starting to take them serious.
I'm interested to see if they pick somebody up during the buyout or trade.
Well, anything to help them shore up. This is the first 25 to 30% of the season. So, all right.
Right.
If they make it to the halfway mark and they're still in the league.
And that's what Donovan Mitchell said. He said, look, I love the fact that we're winning a bunch of games, but I want to be playing well in July and June.
Right.
Yeah, facts.
Right.
Because he already has enough experience where, okay, I've got out the first round.
Right.
I've got out the second round. I haven't really made it.
No, he didn't get out the second round.
He didn't get out the second round. He hasn't made it to the Western Conference or the finals.
And I honestly believe if they don't blow the 3-1 lead, they go to the Western Conference anyway.
Yes.
I think they would beat the Clippers.
Yes.
And then they would have lost the Lakers. I expect the same thing. This is why I have them coming out of the Western Conference. Well, I have them going to the Western Conference.
Okay.
And facing
for me, I feel like they need like a more defense. I feel like Rudy does the majority of defense, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I feel like they need a wing to stop like a LeBron or like a Kawhi, somebody like
one
that.
of them 3-and-D kind of guys.
Exactly.
Right. And with the buyout coming soon, one may become available.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Knicks are on a roll, guys. And even
That
the games,
sounds weird.
it does.
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
They're in 6th place right now. Even the games that they're losing, Freddie, they're in them.
Let's clap that up for the Knicks,
Yeah,
man.
Okay, then for the orange and orange games.
Because that means
Thibodeau is doing a great job of getting his guys to play hard.
And for the first time, I believe, this has to be the first time that both New York teams are on fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't, it's been years.
Right.
Because I remember when the Nets were going to the finals, when they were the New Jersey Nets, of course.
Right.
Them and the Knicks would have many rivals.
Yeah.
But I think Julius Randle should be an all-star this year.
Definitely.
The numbers he's putting up, and it's something about what Thibodeau has instilled in him.
Yeah, to
let him know you can compete with these guys in the league. The Knicks just picked up Derrick Rose.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that Thibodeau has been able to do this because before when he was with the Bulls and even Minnesota, he was guard orientated. So if he didn't have a good guard, he was not going to succeed. And so that's why I was a little timid when the Knicks grabbed him because I think it was just okay, we're going to try him out, see what's going on, but if it doesn't work, then we're going to move on again.
Right.
But it's like he's treating him like a guard, basically.
Yes.
Like he's treating him like a point forward.
Yes.
His assists have increased.
Yes.
You have the perfect backup for General and Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Yes. And now it gives you a chance to develop these young guys. Obi-Wan, Robinson.
Robinson playing good.
As a backup, as a center for you, he's probably going to be... Now, he's one of the best young centers I've ever seen because he's just so long.
Yes, very long and active. I think he's out right now for a week or two with a little injury.
Yeah. A lot of people compared him early on in his career to Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs to develop a shot, and once he does that...
But that can come.
Yeah.
When you're active.
When you're that long, you can just get a bunch of layups.
Right. Shots at the rim. What happened to Kevin Knox?
I don't know, but I think they gotta move him. I'm not gonna
either gonna move him or
they have to move.
He's been coming off the bench. Like he hasn't really impacted as
because now here's the thing. Because now that you have Obi-Wan and RJ, you don't need him.
Okay.
He's just
he's just a bench player. Nothing against him, but he hasn't produced.
No. I did expect more from you, and I want you to get traded now.
Oh boy, that's got to get traded.
Gotta go. I'm a little aggressive.
Anthony Davis is going to be out for a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's going to be more.
I definitely
with a aggravated near his Achilles.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the Lakers, guys?
To me, this is looking like. And I don't mean to make this sound morbid or cold, but it's giving me KD vibes. They called it a calf injury, like in the KD situation.
Yeah, they did.
And I'm like, no, that's an Achilles tear. Wherever he's grabbing, they had him sit out for 2 to 3 weeks, and then when they were down,
where he grabbed him.
I saw him walk off the court, and when he got the foul, he went off in the court. He grabbed his Achilles, made his 2 free throws, and went into the locker room. That reminds me of the same thing, and where they were trying to say, oh, give him 2 to 3 weeks, then bring him back. Because why did they bring him back in the first place when it originally happened?
Oh, you talking about Anthony Davis?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they reevaluated and just felt he needed a couple of days rest. So that may be a good sign, but what is it going to be for them in the records right now, like in the standings and stuff?
Right, exactly.
Right. Do they need to make a move?
They definitely do. I feel like they need to grab Blake.
Wait, Blake Griffin?
Yes.
Why?
Because why not?
But no, why? Like, seriously, why?
Listen to me.
Because you're not making any sense with that.
AD, fire.
No, you need to just go get a guard.
Well, I don't think we need any guards.
No, you don't need a guard, bro.
Did y'all not say originally y'all needed either DeRozan, Zach LaVine, or Bradley Beal?
Those are superstars.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Now, if we can do that, we have to.
We ain't going to do that because they're not trading
But I'm just saying in terms of, do we need to fill Anthony Davis's spot?
He need a backup. Who's the backup to Davis? Morris?
I think they're going to move
oh, yeah. That already gave
Kuzma up a little bit. Kuzma will get more minutes.
Sure.
But
my bad. Okay. So now, I understand. Yeah. Because I thought you were saying as a superstar move, they should go after Blake Griffin. My bad. All right. So I'm gonna just be quiet and let you talk. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes. So they need to grab Blake Griffin. There's mutual interest already. It's been reported.
Okay.
So there's mutual interest there because he's from LA.
He played,
and he got beef with the Clippers still.
Right. Yes.
So the next option is the Lakers.
If you can get him for the cheap, I say you go get him.
Yeah.
It's either him or Drummond. But they're gonna try to not get you to get Drummond because they don't want you too overpowered. Right. It's sort of like the Golden State effect.
Yeah, but hold on. But
they were not letting them get any players.
But they already allowed Brooklyn to get overpowered.
No, here's the thing. Here's the guys. I've been talking to some of my executives on the phone. I got them on the line, and they said if Cavaliers trade Drummond, the Lakers can't afford it because he makes too much money.
Right.
If the Cavaliers release him for a buyout, then they can afford him because. So that's the issue with that, and it's the same thing with Brooklyn. Brooklyn can't outright afford Drummond. They can only get in the buyout. So if he goes to a buyout, I'm hearing he likes Brooklyn.
Exactly, and it's difficult because the Cavs. They want something in return because his rebounds are crazy.
Yeah.
Even his points per game has increased.
Yes.
So he has value. So you just don't let that go.
You're not gonna because their future is gonna be with
Allen.
Right. So that's why Toronto's the best.
I think Toronto maybe have the most assets.
Exactly.
Where Cleveland can get something, and that's a great fit. With the two young guards of Lowry, Van Vliet, Siakam.
Yeah, that may give them a push.
That may give them a push.
Back to the AD real quick. I think this goes back to me and you saying that he just needs to go into the weight room. Part of it has to do with the fact that he's only has 71 days of rest.
Yes, I think that's the main issue.
But another part is he's too skinny for me.
Well, he's a little fragile.
This is exactly why he signed a 5-year and not the 2 or 3 year like LeBron did.
Right.
Because he wanted to ensure he got his money.
And I think for the Lakers, let him take as much because the Lakers are not a regular season team.
Right.
Let him get back healthy. Let him get all he needs ready.
Right.
And then 15, 20 games before the playoff kick in, get in shape. And then he'll be ready to roll. But you still need to add a few pieces if you can. Like Freddie
because
said.
Y'all they need a counterpart for James Harden.
Yeah. Right.
So they either need to go for DeRozan. Right. Who's the more likely for y'all? Because we already know Kuz is for luxury. Like just like here, look at the new shiny toy. He's already gonna be on the block.
I'm hearing Caldwell Pope, Kuzma, and Thornton, the young guy, would be the package that you put together with 2 draft picks to bring in either Beal or DeRozan or somebody like that. So we'll see, but moves will be made.
Like the most likely one would be DeRozan,
Which I'm fine with.
which is is enough.
No, he can ball. He can ball.
He can ball, but San Antonio, Pop being stubborn the way he is,
yes.
he's not just gonna let you take him.
Right. He gonna charge you some money.
Exactly.
For that. And we spoke recently about Andre Drummond. To the Cavs. Bradley Beal had 37, 8, and 3. When the Wizards took down the Rockets, it was John Wall's first game against his old team.
Right.
He played well.
No, I think that was his first time back in Washington.
Yes, against his old team. Yeah.
My bad.
That still seems weird, him in a Houston uniform.
It does.
It
does.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that they're not really going to make a push.
Yes.
Right.
It is what it is, guys. But that don't mean that's going to be his final stop.
Yeah.
Sometimes you play out your year and then in the offseason.
Once again, Bradley Beal has to get out of Washington because he's just putting up numbers.
I know this is going to sound crazy, but I want to share this with y'all. I think...
If you say the Wizards about to win, if you say what Freddie said last week was the Wizards are gonna win the finals,
I'm not gonna say that. But Freddie will like this.
Yes.
I think the Lakers should trade for Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
Let me tell you why.
Yes.
Remember LeBron traded for J.R. Smith, and everybody thought he was crazy because J.R.
You're talking about when he went to Cleveland?
Cavs. I think there's still an animal inside of Westbrook. But I think LeBron could be the one to get to put the battery in his back.
That cannot work.
And
that can't. If y'all make that move,
he's better than Caldwell Pope.
As a fact,
okay,
that is a fact.
Thornton.
He is.
He better than all of them. He better than Schroeder.
If y'all do that, it's gonna be meet time. It's gonna be on. Who is the? Y'all remember? What's the cartoon show where the dude was just running around?
The Roadrunner.
Yeah, the Roadrunner. That's all he's gonna be doing.
But LeBron,
every possession.
LeBron is gonna tell him
down.
Calm down.
And he can't shoot.
LeBron is gonna. But you know what he can do?
He cannot shoot.
He can rebound. He can defend. Pass. He can pass, and he can get in the lane.
If y'all make that move, y'all not winning the championship.
No.
If y'all make that move, y'all not winning.
Yes, we are.
He's better than Caldwell Pope.
That I know. All the players he is better than, but he's not. Right. That's not the guy you want to.
He needs somebody with leadership. People said the same thing about J.R. Smith. Why would the Cleveland Cavaliers pick him up? LeBron said, no, bring him here with me. LeBron sat him. They shared lockers, next to each other.
Yes.
And LeBron got the best out of J.R. Smith.
And
he owed J.R. Smith for that title.
Yes.
And that game, and the way they defended.
Yeah.
Even the Laker title. He was not supposed to be on the team last year. Yeah, and he got a title.
True. So I'm putting it out there.
Westbrook, he's team oriented.
Yes.
He don't care about stats and all that. He wants to win.
But yeah, he always stat packing.
Because it comes natural.
That's okay. I'm going to tell you what he can do. He can defend. he can rebound.
And he can go to the lane.
Get to the basket, get to the free throw line.
And with LeBron being outside and developing his outside shot, everybody going to go to LeBron and go to the shooters.
Yeah.
It's a match made in heaven.
I think that would be the dope move.
And he's back home.
Yes. I know. Expect that move to come.
Yes. It's either this year or next year.
And with that being said, the Nets are finally trying to figure things out. Let's clap that up for the Brooklyn Nets. I think with
they won,
James
I believe,
Harden,
4 straight. And so this is what I do know. They've only played 7 games together.
Yes.
That's not a lot.
Right.
2, they've beaten teams. They're 10 and are they 10-1?
10-1 or 9-2 against
9-2 against 500 or above, and they're 7-11 against. So that means that they're just playing up to the competition,
right?
Which is what you said.
What they have to stop doing once they start saying, "All right, we're 20 points better than this team. Let's just beat them, get it over with." But James Harden and Kyrie are not going to bump heads anymore
because they switch roles.
They switch roles. You be the point guard, Harden. I'll be the 2,
right?
And I think that's going to work for them.
And that's kudos to Chris Paul, because if it wasn't for Chris, James would have never became a point guard in the first place.
Wait, hold on.
No, that's not true.
Because Mike D'Antoni made that move way before they even got Chris Paul.
Got there. Oh. He did.
And that's when me and you was
like, that's
confused.
I
didn't know that.
We was like,
no. Before, I believe 2 seasons before, he finally made James a point guard. That's when he all his stats kind of went up, and
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then some other unrelated to sports news, Michael Jordan donates $10 million to help open 2 new medical clinics in North Carolina. We got to clap that up, man. What we need is health centers.
Yeah.
And $10 million helps facilitate this. What do you guys think about that?
I'm happy that he's definitely doing that, and because now he's starting to get involved with social situations.
Yes, a little bit more than when he played.
And when he retired, because he never used to speak on these type of matters.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely excited about that. I'm happy about it. Do you think he should help be involved a little bit more with Chicago? Don't get me wrong, I know he's from North Carolina. But I always kind of felt that it was weird that he never kind of helped out Chicago.
No, I think while he was there, he did help Chicago. But he's from North Carolina.
Right.
He owns a team in North Carolina.
True.
So his home base is always North Carolina. So I think, anytime you donate money to help people out, it's really a good thing. Draymond slams the NBA over star players on the trading block. Now, here's the scenario. If a player asks for a trade, we look at him like a bad person.
Right. Call him a cancer in the locker room.
Right. But if the team wants to trade you know what they do? They tell you don't even put your uniform on.
Right. And that's what happened.
If you have your uniform on, go take it off.
Yes.
Put on your clothes and sit back down.
Right. And that's how the whole conversation started, because Golden State was playing Cleveland last night, and Drummond was in his warm-up clothes, about to come in thinking he was going to play, and then somebody must have told him, yo, you got to go put on your street clothes because you're not playing.
Right.
And then Draymond was saying, how can players who are not expected to be traded, like on the DeMarcus Cousins situation, he was in the middle of the post-conference at New Orleans, where his agent was in his ear and said, yo, you just got traded to New Orleans.
Right.
On the spot.
Yeah, and he was like, what?
Right.
And he was so heated. He was so mad.
So it's a double standard. If I don't want you here, you can't play because I don't want you to get injured.
Right.
Because you're property.
Right.
But if you ask for a trade, now you're not being a team player.
Right.
So it's a double standard.
And the fact that you can choose as a player basically where you want to go.
Yes.
But that happens if you're like a James Harden. He's not going to just go to any random team.
Right. He's going to have choices. Right.
He's going to have choices.
Not only that, but some players like DeRozan went to the Toronto GM. I forgot his name at the time.
Yeah, I know you're talking.
They can help me out with that. But anyway, I asked him if the rumors were true that he was going to get traded in the Kawhi trade. He told him no. He said, "Don't worry about it. I got you. You are not leaving."
Masai Ujiri?
Yes.
Told him, "Yo, don't worry about it. You're not leaving Toronto. You're here to stay." And then in the middle of the night, he found out, I'm going to San Antonio. I had to call Kyle Lowry and was like, "What's going on?"
Yes.
Like, bro, I'm out.
So you can't trust these GMs. But when you decide as a player you want to leave.
And that's kind of embarrassing coming back from the player's point of view, because they typically do that when the trade is about to be official.
Yes.
Right? Because every time that I've seen that, even in baseball,
but in this case, Drummond, he don't know where he's going.
Yes, he don't know where he's going. Right. Exactly.
It might take a week or two.
Exactly.
Right. And, I'm going to track of thought, guys. It'll come back to me. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, so, that's where we are with the.
But shout out to Draymond.
Shout out to Draymond for that.
He's been on a tear recently. Like
speaking his
mind, speaking his piece.
He's gonna be the new Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley used to be very outspoken in his heyday,
right?
And had the ball, the wherewithal. To I was gonna say ball.
Yeah, I know.
To speak his mind, and a lot of players do that.
And he was even speaking about like players getting fined. He got fined before talking about certain people. Like, and
now, here's the thing. Do y'all have a problem with because it kind of, people are saying that they have a problem with Draymond's statement because it looks like an employee out of his lane.
Speaking out of turn.
Speaking out of turn.
Well,
because the GM is
But he's an employee, but he has a say-so. And when you
credit to LeBron for giving players like that.
Credit LeBron. When you put me in front of a mic, I'm not just gonna say I like to thank God for the win, and I have an opportunity to speak my voice. Right, I got a platform. Right.
And I was thinking too, I'm like, but we're not
because not every player gets to sit there and address the media.
And we're not in the times anymore of the 80s and 90s where it's just like, all right, let's just ask about the game.
Right.
No, I'm going through personal issues,
and then there are social issues in the world.
Right.
Or when they ask me something about somebody being gunned down, you want me to answer that, but you don't want me to answer the internal beef that's taking place in my company.
Right.
Or when Kyrie Irving was going through his mental state. Now, granted, I don't.
He talked about that as well.
I don't like the way that Kyrie handled that, but I understand that Kyrie had to take some time off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he was talking about mental issues and how that affects. Like we don't know what Drummond is thinking and how that affects him because he's just trying to ball out and play. So
absolutely,
it's a little dicey. But I'm pro Draymond Green on this one.
Me too.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
So I'm hearing that baseball will start allowing at least 10% of their fans to make it into the building
in certain stadiums.
I think that's a start.
Yeah, I think it's like wide, like league wide.
League wide.
But it depends on the stadium. So like if the Yankees 40,000 around there,
right,
then you get 4,000 or 5,000.
Right.
5,000.
And I think it'll start there. And once they see that, people are being vaccinated or whatever, they can increase the amount of people that comes
even
in.
now, what they're doing in multiple stadiums, they're getting vaccinated in the stadium.
Yeah, they're using the stadiums
as a point,
as hubs, so that you can be vaccinated.
That's what's up. They've been doing that. They started doing that in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
So when Culture Dave Chappelle gets his rights back and his name for the Chappelle Show, we got to clap that up.
Yes, sir. We was just talking about that.
He was in a big fight.
We spoke about that like a few months ago.
Yeah, we did definitely, and we were happy about the fans supporting Dave Chappelle in that situation because he was putting me in the hard spot because I wanted to watch the show because I hadn't really. When Dave Chappelle show came out, I was like 5 or 4, so I wasn't able to watch it. So he was putting me in the predicament, but I'm happy that the situation's settled.
Yes.
I'm waiting for a couple more Netflix deals to be handled out.
Announced and finalized,
right.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that fans, that one, he can get his credit to his millions.
Yes.
And 2, everybody can enjoy the show.
Because it's his hard work.
Right.
It's his, what we call intellectual property.
That's his legacy, right?
That's his legacy, something he can leave his children.
Right.
And I think he should own that.
And it also shows his power.
Yes.
Like, this man was able to boycott everyone
and get the people
and
to
get behind of what he wanted to do.
In the boycott.
Right.
And
See,
it's
that's
all
big.
because of social media. Like, see, social media has its pros.
Yes.
Definitely.
No, I agree. Social media can be good and it can be bad.
Yep.
Yeah. And in this instance, it was good because it enabled people to have their input and their say and say, we're not going to watch it because we agree with Dave Chappelle.
And Dave has the ability to leave it behind the scenes. So after the incident happened, people just forgot about it. And then now he came out with it again, saying, like, look, because of you guys, I was able to fight for my stuff and the right to do what I want with it, you know?
Absolutely.
And I thought that was amazing.
I know this isn't on the paper, but real quick, you and my mom watched Malcolm and Marie.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the film without trying to
don't spoil it. I have not watched
too
much.
We thought it was good. We thought the interaction was good. We thought it was relatable to man and woman.
Right. Did you like how they were doing the camera?
I liked the way they was doing the camera angles. I closed my eyes and I listened and I swear his son sounds just like Denzel.
Right.
And it was a great... Sometimes you can shoot a movie without a whole bunch of car crashes and action. Just in one room.
Just dialogue.
Just dialogue.
Yeah, I haven't watched a movie like this
and you
since...
can nail it.
Yeah, I haven't watched a movie like this since my class that I took, American film, where we watched old school movies and 90% of them were like this.
Right.
Black and white, conversation.
Yes.
It wasn't until the 90s, late 80s, where when Indiana Jones came out, that was a staple for action.
Right.
And stuff like that. So
yeah.
And even along those lines, we also watched Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
And that movie dealt with a sort of like a biopic on Fred Hampton's life and the agent, the double agent who crossed him.
Was giving them. It was more about the double agent, but
than anything else.
Yeah.
And his role in bringing down a powerful organization And not to spoil it, but
but
they assassinate this man at the end of this movie.
One for to be that young and to be going to different organizations who are like yours, and to unite them the way that he did
as 21-year-old.
As a 21-year-old,
yes.
And who is the person that is taking down these white guy who assassinated Malcolm?
J. Edgar Hoover. He was the head of the FBI.
Him realizing that Fred has too much power in terms of uniting a bunch of white people, Hispanics, anybody.
Yes.
Because
he became a threat in which he had to be eliminated.
Right.
And the way they did it was in poor taste. But it's a good movie to see.
I like the actors that they have for it.
Yes.
The dialogue, and then
the movie they casted it well.
Very powerful. Yeah.
And it's a very powerful movie. Stuff we've talked about, but to get to see the visuals on it.
Also, real quick, watching the Malcolm X, watching Martin Luther King, and watching this, realizing that love and war cannot coexist.
Yes,
that's just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But just because you have to sacrifice one or the other.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the story of life. Yeah. Love and war. And hold on.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
So now we have a disabled story to tell about a young man named Zahir Scott.
Right.
Or the little kid name was Zahir Scott.
No, yeah, the little kid's name was Zahir Scott, and basically he's a 6-year-old kid who has cerebral palsy, and his dad stabbed him 5 times.
Yeah.
He's in critical condition, and there's an organization called... Sorry, hold on. Let me see, guys.
Holt's Heroes.
Holton's Heroes, who has donated $14,000 to help him with his
needs after surgery and once he gets older.
Supplies.
Well, let me back up a little bit because they've run news stories about this kid and his dad, the struggles they were going through. His dad was raising him on his own, and his dad was a hands-on dad, loved this kid, did everything for him. But when you're dealing with a child who's disabled to this magnitude, it's challenging. So they were highlighting what he was doing and the help he was getting. And long story short, his dad started to lose it because
everything started crumbling.
I think he lost where they lived.
Right. He started to lose it because he lost his job. He lost where he started to live. Zahir's mom passed away when he was 2.
Yes.
So he was on his own. And if you don't have the supporting cast of a big family or your mom and pops around and it's only one person.
Or just like a significant other just help you out in some cases.
You start to lose it. And unfortunately.
And as a result, he had a mental breakdown and tried to kill his son. And there was also a 16-year-old girl involved. We don't know all the details. But we want to send our love and support out to Zahir.
Yeah.
Speedy for recovery.
Please donate to the non-for-profit organization. Yes. It is once again called Holton's Heroes.
They have a GoFundMe.
In place.
Raising money for that.
And they're raising money. Just Google it, Holton's Heroes, so that now Zahir can receive the care he needs. And they're looking to put him up for adoption.
And a stable home. So then that way this doesn't happen again.
Right. So if he gets into a stable home with loving parents who understand his needs.
Also, guys, mental health is important.
Mental health is a real thing. Especially during the times that we are now.
Yeah.
With COVID and everything,
quarantine.
And raising a young child by yourself is really hard. On top of the fact that he has a disability.
Right.
Yes.
With us, it was a little bit easier.
Yes.
Because we had a stable home. We had a supporting cast.
And now that we're older, we're able to fend for ourselves.
Right.
Yes.
And so the pressure comes off of the parents.
Yes.
Real quick before we wrap this up, condolences to Nicki Minaj's pops.
Oh yes.
Who got hit?
Absolutely.
Who got in a car accident and hit and run.
Yes. Condolences to Nicki Minaj.
I hope
her pops tragically passed away.
Wow.
Okay, so real quick, this is just all for me. I was watching a Vlad interview with Little Bibby. That's the COO of Grade A Production. That's the label that Juice WRLD was under.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about Juice WRLD's legacy and the stuff that he saw before Juice WRLD's death.
The Juice WRLD. All right, go ahead. Continue. Yes.
And he was talking about two things in particular that struck me that got my attention. One, he did say 2 weeks before his passing, he saw things in Juice WRLD that he didn't like as his man's, like as the COO and the one that signed him. He was saying that he's used to seeing people around him talking about Lil Bibby usually take one or a half a perk per day. Right? So he said he saw Juice take. Also, disclaimer: we don't condone drugs.
We don't condone any drugs.
Yeah,
right.
y'all already know that. But
when you're talking about hip hop,
and drugs, you just gotta throw that.
Mention it. Yeah.
He said that he saw him take 1.5 every day, and that was a little alarming for him because, like I said, it was either one or a half.
Right, not 1.5.
Right, not 1.5. And then he said that he would make fun of Juice if he ever did it in front of him because he said in the beginning it was. It was like light and stuff. And then he was like, no, dude, you can't be doing that. And then he said that eventually, and I think this is my diagnosis, after Juice lost his pops, which was June 2nd, he started spiraling. Yeah. That's your dad.
And that's depression.
And understand, Juice has been doing drugs since he was 12. Gotcha. I'm already a druggie,
and now I have a reason to do it.
Right, and I'm coping.
All right, and now you have fame. You have millions of fans.
Right, and you have
rely on
money
your music
to get all the drugs you want. Now.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah. And he said, Lil Baby said he saw, or his brother who was around Juice WRLD when Lil Baby is not. He said, yo, he's starting to take 4 a day. He's like, why? He's like, bro, why are you taking 4 a day?
Yeah, that's.
So then he was crazy. So then he went to the label. Got all his friends, his 2 cousins, his big brother, talking about Lil Bibby's brother, and his girl, and was like, yo, you need to go to rehab. He said, yo, I'm going to go to rehab, but I'm not going to stop using. Wow. And at that point, talking about 2 weeks before his passing, you already know he's gone.
Yeah.
And whatever issues I'm going with, y'all already too late. Y'all were so busy on either me taking y'all to the sky.
Making money
off of me.
That y'all didn't deal with my issues to make me a better person.
And he was saying, because Lil Baby said, yo, dude, I go through anxiety and depression too, but I don't act the way that you act.
Right.
Because he said, this was another conversation. He said the last conversation I had with him was, I was in New York, he was on tour, and he called me and was like, yo, I wish we can go back to the old days where you was on tour with me. He said, yeah, I know. He said, yo, and then he was like, he called me 6 times and was like, yo, I need you to come out to tour just to have fun. So he's like, yo, I booked a flight to California. I'm at your door. I knocked 6 times. I called you 5 times. You ain't come out your room the entire time. And he's like, yo, we can either go out and party or we can just kick it, have a deep conversation, and just talk about life. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean to. I'm going through anxiety. And then on top of that, I'm a druggie, so it's like, you don't understand. He's like, bro, either get help or... And I said, yeah, that's the patterns. Yeah. When you're in your room by yourself, and it's just you and your mind,
and you're doing drugs. Yeah.
So the mental health of Juice kind of deteriorated, and I think the main cause was his dad's passing, and that kind of.
Well, that's a great interview. I think I'll watch it because you want to know the mind state of individuals. Everybody's going through something, guys.
Yep.
Right.
So all we want to say is, if you're out there and you're going through something, Logic put out a great song for it, right?
Yeah.
About that. And I heard it today, and it made me think about people need to reach out for help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's important not to judge the person in front of you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they're going
through. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Their life or lifestyle could be worse than yours. You know, because everybody thinks their lifestyle is the worst.
Right. But
their point of view of life is a lot
until you meet somebody else who is going through it, but always put a smile on their face.
Exactly.
Always around you.
Very true.
And then when you hear stuff like this, where they died of an overdose, or this time, or they committed suicide, then you're surprised, but you're like, I didn't see the signs.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we want to keep that in mind. So where can we be reached at?
We can be reached on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at Disabled Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Viewership gotta go up. Subscribership gotta go up. Hit the bell notification. I will see you guys next week. We love y'all, alright?
We love y'all.
Peace.
Peace out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please throw your hands in the air for the greatest podcast on earth when it comes to music, sports, and culture. Disabled is Able with your host, Eli and Fredy. So put your hands